As the head of IT department, you hold the key to influencing key matrices within the organization. You enable other business functions to effectively meet their goals. By implementing IT programs, you tend to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of key parameters across various departments. For example, implementing materials management system helps your organizations to keep track of their inventory and manage the procurement process effectively. By implementing a CRM solution, the head of sales and marketing would be in a position to manage their sales pipeline and customer requirements. Let us now take a look at an example of how to implement an IT program. Select the program that you would like to implement from the list of options available to you. The details of the implementation of the program are provided to you in terms of the overall implementation plan, the preconditions required to implement the program, and the benefits of the program. The implementation details gives you a quick snapshot about the program. The preconditions gives you an information of what is required to implement the program, and the benefits of the program provides you details of what would happen once the program has been implemented. Typically, when an organization is evaluating to implement an IT program, they actually look at the preparedness and the maturity to handle such programs. This in our game is represented by the overall employee development index, which is required as a precondition for you to implement the program. This means that if you would like to implement materials management system, your organizations should be ready and you would need to have a minimum EDI score of 35,000. Whereas if you would like to implement an HRMS, you would need a minimum EDI score of 54,000 for you to implement the program. When you decide to implement an IT program, you have the option of either choosing an external vendor to develop the software for you or have an in-house team to develop the program. The preconditions in terms of the number of employees that you require to implement such programs are also provided to you in the precondition section. So for example, if you would like to implement a business process management or a BPM implementation, you would need to have 22 employees for you to implement such programs. Whereas a CRM requires about 20 employees for you to build the software. In case you happen to choose to give it to an external vendor, you are not really bothered about the total strength within the organization because the external vendor would take care of that. You would now need to inform the HR department in case you choose to have the program implemented by your in-house team so that they have the requisite number of people recruited from the market. Having selected the IT program for the list of options that you have, now you would need to decide the hardware that you would like to select for implementing the program. After selecting the hardware, from the list of options available to you, you would be in a position to either buy the hardware or rent the hardware based on the overall budgets that you have. After selecting the hardware, you are now required to select the overall implementation plan. As discussed earlier, implementation are of two types. You could either choose to get the program developed in-house or get an external vendor to develop the program. This is primarily a function of the overall budgets that you have and the effectiveness of the programs that you would like to target. For example, an in-house team, you have the overall control in terms of what gets developed, at what rate it gets developed, and by what time you will be in a position to actually develop and deliver the program. While with an external vendor, you seem to be having lesser control. With an in-house program, the biggest challenge would be to have the requisite talent onboarded within the organization for you to manage such programs. While if you choose to have the external vendor, it is his primary job to have the requisite talent to build the project that you are currently looking for. So having chosen the in-house and external vendor, depending upon the budgets that you have, you're not required to choose between two crucial decisions that you would need to take in terms of providing change management and training for all those people who would be using the program or softwares that you're implementing. Training programs and change management, when provided, improves the overall effectiveness of the program. However, they have a huge implication in terms of cost. Having decided all the options, you would now need to click on Submit for you to implement the IT program. The program will get implemented and the benefits of the program will get reflected based on the choices that you have taken functions to meet their strategic objectives. I hope you would enjoy the overall decision-making process.